Hi everyone, and welcome back to English Without Borders. I'm Kayla, your English language fluency, pronunciation, and confidence coach. Today I'm going to talk to you about the difference between two words that my students normally use as synonyms, or they think they have the same meaning, while in reality, they are not the same. Okay, and these words are accent and pronunciation. So what is the difference between accent and pronunciation? Why aren't they the same thing? And why is this important to know? Knowing the difference between these two words can actually make a big difference in the way you think about your speaking in English. Now, this is one of the first questions I ask my individual students or my students that work on accent and pronunciation with me. I ask them, what is the difference between pronunciation and accent? Do they know the difference? Have they always thought of them as the same thing? And why is it important to know? It's important to know that pronunciation is the most important thing to work on in terms of speaking English with clarity. Now, pronunciation is the way we have to say a word. So how do you pronounce an L? How do you pronounce an R? How do you pronounce two E's put together? These different tendencies or phonetic rules that we follow in the English language help us determine how to pronounce words correctly. When we work on speaking with students, we want to ensure that their pronunciation is good more than anything. Now, what's the difference between working on pronunciation and working on accent? Well, accent is just a different way or following different patterns of pronunciation. So, for example, I'm American, and an American person pronounces English correctly as a native speaker. At least most of them do. And British people from the United Kingdom, they also pronounce English correctly, but they sound different. If we both pronounce correctly, but we sound different, why is that? Well, that's because we have different accents. So British people, Australians, Irish people, Scottish people, they all have their own distinct accents. But at the end of the day, we are all using correct pronunciation. So the most important thing to know and to understand when working on your English speaking is to ensure that your pronunciation is correct, it is clear, that people can understand you. Then the next step, if you so choose, is to work on your accent. Many people are comfortable with their foreign accents. Perhaps me as an American, I can have an accent when I speak French or when I speak Italian, but my pronunciation might be fine. And the accent is nothing to be ashamed of or to be frustrated about. It's just that I come from another place and I follow a different linguistic set of patterns. However, if your pronunciation is good and you also want to work on accents because you want to sound American, you want to sound Australian, you want to sound British, that's totally fine too. And that's what I help a lot of students do with the American accent. But it is important to understand the difference between pronunciation and accents, because if your pronunciation is good, then that's fine. You really don't have to take it any further than that. If you choose to keep working on your speaking and pronunciation so that you can change your accent or acquire a different accent, then that's fine too. The choice is totally yours. But the bottom line is that accent and pronunciation are not the same thing. So even if you speak differently from me, perhaps it's just you have a different accent and it's not your pronunciation. All right, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video gave you some better insight on the differences between pronunciation and accents and understanding which one you need or want to work on at the moment. Remember that Pronunciation and accent are also things that we can always improve upon, and they are also things that we can lose if we don't practice. So I encourage you to practice your English pronunciation every opportunity that you get. Practice as much as you can on your own, at home, in front of a mirror, record your voice to ensure that you are speaking properly and with clarity. And your accent is the same. If you want to acquire a new accent, sound more American, sound more British, these are things that you can improve on or that you can lose if you are not actively practicing what you learn. So please be sure that if you want to increase your scale or your level of confidence in terms of your pronunciation and accent, it will take time, it will take dedication, but even 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference on both of these things, pronunciation and accent. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below if you already knew the difference between pronunciation and accent, or if you learned something new today. Thanks for your time today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, happy learning.